thing I have to remember to do. Thing I have to remember to do. One more second. Okay. Alrighty. Let's start. Uh, just coming into our, oops, I'm pressing buttons and everything's going wrong. There we go. Coming into our own experience of being and what it feels like to be in our bodies today. And letting that be okay, however it is. So it's not any huge need to change anything, fix anything, make it perfect, but just landing on the planet in our bodies. Also, we could think we're already here. So when I say landing in our bodies on the planet, it's not like our bodies weren't on the planet before. They were, but we're just inviting our perception and our awareness to be present with us in this moment, or that it's funny because all of these things in the non-dual way, we already are like all of that, but bringing it in even more. So coming into our sense of being and letting go of our sense of doing. Are we doing to come into ourself? That is the question. Landing in your body, being present in your body mind with everything that's arising on the outside and on the inside. And feeling whatever's going on for you. Let's start with just a hum. So just humming inside your own head. You can let your tongue undulate in there, kind of move it around. As my tongue moves around, I can usually hear the vibrations in different parts of my body, mostly my cranium, but maybe my throat, right side, left side, I can feel a difference with that. So let's just start playing with a hum sound. Letting your tongue undulate. So we're waking up. Even as I say the word tongue and think about my tongue, my mouth starts to water. So bringing on that hydration from the tongue. This is what me and Liz Koch were talking about also, this tongue to tail relationship, the fluid inner body. So that's, I'm just referencing a sort of shared space Zoom talk I had with Liz Koch, who's one of my teachers. So let's hum. Let's take a hand on our up here, like kind of on your throat, maybe around your collarbones, another one low on your belly. If it feels uncomfortable to have your hand close to your neck, drop it down lower. Okay, for some reason, I feel like I just want mine right up there, right at the top. But if another place is better for you, just shift it. And I had this funny image of my mouth as being like a bouncy castle, and the hum coming through it are like the little kids jumping around. So give your inner mouth some playful freedom. Try to inhale through your nose whenever you have an inhale. And if you need any resting breaths without the hum, just take them. I'm also noticing this internal micro movement really bubbling up, like the whole gut body, belly, organs wanting to just kind of move around as if I'm as if I'm floating within my whole body. So floating within my body of water. Mm. Inviting your true self, whatever your true self is, or whoever you feel like your true self is, inviting that part of you, the truest part of who you are, who you were born on the planet to be, whatever need for true expression to your integrity is online, whatever that means to you, invite that truest true self in to presence with you. And imagine that that truest true self, maybe it's your highest self or your most healthy, nourished, healing, loving self, or however you want to look at it, the most expressed, generous, whatever, alive, vital, inviting that self to join in with this process, inviting micro movement coming from that deep wisdom layer. Maybe it's the self of your body, the self of your body mind, like in it's funny to say highest or lowest. I feel like we're always dealing with these divisions of structure and hierarchy, which I want to like let that just melt away, that within us it's all just water. So when I say the highest, what I really mean is the most fluid, joyful, healing, yummiest thing that is within there to be in your experience. And if you're feeling like, oh, I don't feel anything good and yummy, that's okay too. Just play with the hum. I want to really invite online this head turning from side to side, right? So it could be that it turns one way and then the other. It could be it stays in one place and meanders a little bit. Your eyes may be open or closed. You can take in the big surroundings, or just feel into your own sensation. But bringing online that panning of the horizon, whether you're looking or not, giving your brainstem and your vagus nerve a little bit of movement and the information that you're safe. Hands can move away if that feels good or not, up to you. It doesn't have to be like there's total safety and everything's wonderful. It could just be like, I'm safe enough. I'm safe enough to be present with my cells and with myself. Mm. So I'm sitting on this physio ball and I have this capacity to move my pelvis, or my pelvis can move very easily with that lightness underneath me. So there's like a buoyancy underneath me that's supporting me, as well as the firm ground beneath my legs. And when I have that sense of buoyancy in the ball, and I also have this groundedness beneath my knees, I feel very safe. I'm not going to fall off the planet. I'm not going to fall down. And there's also movement bubbling up. If you don't have a physio ball, maybe just sitting on a pillow or even rolling around on the floor, you don't have to be seated. You could be laying down, playing with this breath. Mm. Inviting any tension that's hanging out in that central column, that central channel, that central river to just melt if it feels okay, softening and melting away. Mm. Mm. I'm going to add one more thing here to the hum. You're going to let your tongue move around your mouth and also around your teeth. So I'm just going to come in a little closer for this. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it with my eyes closed and just really be present in there. Mm. You can move around in any way. And if it starts to feel like the hum is too much, causing tension, let go of the hum and just let the tongue continue the exploration. Allow the tongue to be sensual, to sense the inside of your mouth, to be sensing what's going on, to feel and to have freedom within there. So it could just be a simple circle, but it could also be like, oh, this one nook and cranny is really interesting. Let me spend some time here. So giving your face freedom. Ugh, loose and relaxed, droopy voice tongue, and then it gets to play, right? When I just relax all this. Mm, I don't feel angry when I do that, right? Like it automatically makes me feel silly and relaxed. So invite that in, that kind of droopy dog energy, and maybe the intelligence of a dog tongue into your mouth. And let your rest of your body, your head, your spine, your gut body, your organs, your limbs, respond in any way that feels good. So they may be curious too, like the tongue may spark some curiosity for the rest of the body. Allow that in. Invite in micro movement, maybe it's macro movement, anything that feels good. Mm. Taking resting breaths whenever you need them. I'm just going to let that sound vibration play out in my body for a little while. And then I'll come back to the tongue hum when I feel ready. So you don't have to be working on my schedule in any way. You can do whatever you want. Big, small, stillness, lots of motion. Inviting yourself to feel into what this brings online, this tongue to tail relationship in your body, the lower parts of the body to the upper parts of the body. So this up down relationship that we have in our body. Sometimes people feel kind of cut off somewhere at the neck or at the waist or wherever. Invite the whole thing in. You may feel cut off, but you aren't. It's all one body. So inviting in any kind of spiraling movement, any kind of undulation, or any kind of more linear movement. Just invite it in as your body awakens to its potential for movement in space in a sort of exploratory manner, free flow exploration, bringing back the tongue hum anytime you want. As my tongue goes from one side to the other, I hear in one side or the other more sound. So notice that deep into your senses, receiving sound, receiving vibration. Maybe visual field is open, maybe not. So deep interoception, what's the moving inside? Maybe there's kinesthetic awareness coming online, your body moving in space, awakening the space around you through movement. inviting it into your experience and into your awareness. I'm going to add one more breath, which just my body wants to do it. So I'm going to bring it on. And it's kind of like a puffed O. So your tongue gets to take a break, and it can be with or without the vocal cords. So it could just be with breath, which would be like this. And I'm kind of letting my mouth free up and explore. Or it could be with vocal sound, which would be like this. I'm letting my mouth open and close a little, just releasing again that mouthy, snouty, like, oh, tensions that might be held in there. Just free up your little snout. I like the idea. If I had a snout, what would the world be like? I kind of do. So when I play with that puffed O sound, the puffed breath, it's more like rings of, like if you dropped a drop of water and you see the rings going out. That's sort of my sensation of that breath as I shift from being in this sort of tongue to tail, upper lower relationship into this sort of radiation opening out, coming back in with the breath, radiating out in like a ripple, like a rippling circle. That's my experience. Yours may be totally different, and that's fine. So work with whatever feels interesting to you. So for me, like as I get in there, I'm working with these circles, like this sort of desire to open up and fall back comes online. So I'll probably get down on the floor pretty soon. Let your body let your body speak to you and invite in relaxation. I'm going to do the sound a little bit more here and then get down onto the floor, and then eventually I'll add music. Sometimes I feel like as I'm making those sounds, that they feel like they're kind of coming in and going down. And then sometimes they feel like they're kind of moving forward and out. And there's no right or wrong here. It's just playing with the sounds, letting your position of being you free up a little bit so that the experience of being has more range and possibility, less constriction in the I'm Laura, and more freedom in the I'm an organic system, part of the whole picture, filled with water and air and fire and light and earth. And I'm connecting into the earth, right? Letting the earth support me, nestling into the ground, feeling the gravitational pull and feeling the rebound of myself, right? And my cells. Plants grow towards the sun. Plants usually grow up. People walk erect on the earth. So feeling that we don't just puddle down, we also rise up. So feeling that relationship, and there can be real lightness with our movement upwards. If you kind of allow your idea of being a human to expand to being this elemental body, can be a very different experience. So inviting yourself to participate from the water or from the air or from the fire or from the earth, right? Or from the space, participating with being in different ways, where it's not so connected to story or even lineage. It's just being part of the stardust, right? It's part of the stardust that is here now. I'm going to add music. Give us a little bit of time. Lots of ideas there to play into. This is Ambient Fields, album number 2, which is available on Bandcamp. Letting the music feed you as well, and allowing your body and your experience to just respond to what's coming in. Let go of any self-criticism, any judgment. Just be in the experience. Gentle kindness with your own experience. Compassion. What happens when you let go of all your plans? All the things that happen to you. Let go of your plans and your stories. Just be in the water, in the air. Be the stardust. Inviting the earthy wisdom of your bones online. Pause and receive, or slow down and receive. What are we receiving? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, being in the place where you don't need to know anything is a very, very recuperative space once you once you learn to tolerate it. Being in the I don't know. No need to grasp onto any answers. for play, you could just ask, is there something that wants to go up? Is there something that wants to go down? And it's not that we want to go to not thinking anything at all. Like maybe there are stories moving through your head. Let them just continue to flow, right? So that they're not locking up, but they're just moving through. Maybe you can feel different flows within your body, like your heartbeat or pulse. Maybe your nervous system has a little buzz. Maybe there's temperature variation here and there. Sometimes I can feel very suspended in my own body, like no extra work for my body to be in the right place, or that my posture is correct. Posture is a concept imposed upon you. We are moving, alive, vital beings that are in constant motion, even when we're in relative stillness. But we could think of going up or going down, or some part is going up and some part is going down. And even like the shape of our spine is like a rippling wave, right? If we look at it like thoracic, the thoracic goes out, the cervical goes in. But that's just a way of looking at it, this wave of our spine. If I move in different ways, it's in a different shape. experience of being sometimes feels like a bunch of different colors of paint thrown into water, and they're swirling around. I think they used to make those paintings in like elementary school where you drop all that paint in the water and then you put the paper on it and pull it back. It would be impossible to ever make that same painting twice, right? So that's kind of how we are. Impossible to, snowflake people, impossible to be the same as anyone else. I don't mean that in the sense of that they're delicate. I mean that in the sense of differentiated. Everyone's different. And even every day, your particular snowflake expression might be totally different than the day before, right? Every moment suspended in the next one and the next one and the one before. Ah, finding the connection to the earth through the gravitational pull and the lightness to rise, right? Rising and expanding and opening, or dropping down and spreading. Just those things by themselves can feel magical. Those movements. Our breath is very three-dimensional in our bodies, and then it moves into our bloodstream and moves around, transforms into CO2 and goes back out, right? The oxygen comes in, moves through us, transforms, and goes back out as CO2. So just being is an alchemical process. And it doesn't always have to be soft, slow, and smooth. It can be bouncy and effervescent, bouncy, 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 trouncy. Before today, when did you last look up? Probably during the eclipse if you were in the US or maybe even Mexico. But make sure to take time out there in nature, look up, see what's above you, see that expansive space. Open up to what's high, what's up there, as well as what's below us, right? This connection, heaven and earth. There's lots of exercises that we can do to connect heaven and earth, but all we got to do is feel up and down. heads off vertical, right? Looking at things in a different perspective changes everything. What if I look at it from over here? What if I look at it from over here? What if I look at it from here? Everything changes when we just unlock ourselves from our own perspective a little bit, from our one way of seeing things, and just open it up. Maybe there's more to the whole thing than we can possibly imagine. Just fade that out. Let us continue moving or not moving with whatever feels good to you. But give yourself time to process the processing. Be with the being. When we move differently, sometimes it takes a little while to integrate that experience, right? Sometimes it's like, oh, I shifted and now I feel a little off center and off balance. I'm not quite sure how to be in the world. So you always want to make sure that you come back to whatever form you need to operate and function in your world. I mean, on the one hand, it's impossible to uh, really ever come back to the same place. And so I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. So I won't be teaching this Wednesday class or any of my other exercise classes for the next 2 weeks. I'm back on April 25th, probably teaching that morning. Um, so just putting that out there. I am going to Mount Madonna to teach movement at Michael Taft's retreat. So that is going to be happening. Yay! So excited. All right. How do I turn this off? How do I stop?